Where are you going?
New York. New York.
All right. I am recording. All right, ready? Hello, I'm Hikylabur and welcome back to Hikylabur, where I'm realizing my potential while protecting my mental. Thank you for showing up today as I continue to invite you to feel real still. Feel all that you are, show up as your authentic self, and be present. Because what other moment do we have than right now? As you can see behind me, I am in New York City. I'm repping my Met t-shirt hoodie that I got at the Met. We didn't have a real long time to spend in New York City. My dad and I came here yesterday. We got here around 9 p.m. and we said we're gonna have 24 hours of fun, and we're leaving at 1:30 tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. tomorrow, that is. And I'm just so elated to be here. As I shared in my last episode, I was debating between Disney World or New York City. And honestly, I didn't want to go to Disney by myself. I think I'm going to save that as a family trip for my parents, my nephew, my sister, my aunties, the whole family to come if they want to from when I graduate. But as a spontaneous trip with my roll dog, my dad, he's been traveling with me for a while, especially when I was playing golf. So this was a very last minute, but well needed, well-executed trip. We had 24 hours to experience New York. I came once when I was in high school, and my dad has never been before. So I wanted to make it kind of enjoyable. We got to upgrade our tickets to first class. We decided to stay at the Times Square edition, which is directly in Times Square. I'm on the balcony in our hotel. It's about almost 1 a.m. here in New York City. We had a jam-packed day, and I have the biggest smile on my face because I have nothing but gratitude for this moment, for this experience, to open my eyes not only to a world of possibility, but also to what I could be missing sometimes in front of me. Giving you a brief rundown of our trip in New York City. Like I said, we got here last night, and today I had a hard time sleeping last night as well because there was just so much excitement. We walked around Times Square. As you can hear, it's loud. There's music playing, and I couldn't wait to see what we did today. So I didn't get up till like 10 a.m. this morning. I ate breakfast at our hotel. My dad and I walked through Times Square, did a little sightseeing. We walked to Central Park next. We didn't realize how big it was because we wanted to go to Harlem as well. So it would have been like an hour plus walk from Harlem, from Manhattan, Times Square area to Harlem. So we walked for about 30 minutes, saw a street performance in the middle of the park. That was nice. And then we finally got an Uber to Harlem. We got dropped off at the Apollo Theater, and it was so beautiful to see locals being locals as opposed to like in Times Square. All you see is the hustle and bustle of the tourists, and that was exciting. Then we went to the Slutty Vegan. I tried the Slutty Vegan before in Atlanta, and my dad's friend's son-in-law showed us around a little bit. We then took the subway down to the Staten Island ferry, where we got on the ferry, saw the boat tour view of the Statue of Liberty as well as the Brooklyn Bridge on our way back, because we literally got on the ferry, took the 25-minute ride, got off the ferry, made it onto the next so we can make it back to New York City. Well, back to our area where we're designated. Then we took another subway to the World Trade Center. That was exciting. We also got to, before going there, just a crazy night because we did so much today. But we got off the subway, went to the financial district, where the terminal for the Staten Island ferry was, and we got to see the bull. Then we walked to the World Trade Center and saw the Oculus, and also saw the breathtaking remaining outlines of the two trade centers. I've seen it before, but it was just remarkable to see again. And then we finally made it back to Times Square on the subway. My dad was a little hesitant to take the subway because this is his first time in New York, and he was like, I don't know about going underground. I don't know how that's going to work out for us, but it was good. We had a guide. We're very thankful for him. And why not do my podcast episode in New York City, telling you all what happened? I decided on Disney in the last episode, then changed my mind to come to New York, but that's what life is all about. And this experience has taught me how amazing it is, how big the world is, how beautiful it is to see people, this many people in one space. The amount of people the amount of ways, the creative ways we saw people making money out here was empowering as well as inspirational. But that part I mentioned earlier about appreciating what's in front of me, the little things that you can miss out on life, like people saying hello to you, people being personable. You kind of lose that in a space like this, so grand, full of different cultures, just a literal melting pot of different nationalities, cultures. We ran into the St. Patrick's Day parade today, and that was pretty cool to see people come together, I guess, and explore that culture, but also to have that counterbalance of appreciation for what they're doing and the dreams that are alive here, but also for the humanity that I'd like to keep in my experience, in my platform, and just appreciate the simple things in life. I'm in New York! I'm ending this episode in Nashville. My spring break is officially over. My dad and I got back to Nashville around 3 p.m. yesterday, and to our surprise, we woke up to the New York City half, or some race that was happening through Times Square up into Central Park. I've put some clips in this montage of the trip, also to extend the video and end out this way. I am still a little under the weather. I plan to go back to school in the morning before my 8 a.m. class. I've done it before, but wish me luck. My whole game plan was just to get some rest today, get some editing, get some homework or work done for school before I go back and finish strong. So thank you for tuning in. I'm closing out from my parents' house in Nashville, and I'm just so grateful. My favorite part of the trip, beyond all the things we saw, was having that opportunity to experience New York with my dad. And I can't wait to go back with both my parents or more of my family, but I thought it'd be fair because my mom, my two aunties, my nephew came down to Memphis the week prior, and then my dad and I asked him, hey, how about we have 24 hours? Let's go to New York. He's never been. And we had the time of our lives. I just really enjoyed seeing his amazement at the tall buildings and the different sites. Some of the things I remember from when I went to New York in high school, but it wasn't really about that. It was just a joy of spending time with my dad and having that as a cherry on top for my last spring break as I prepare to finish strong. As my therapist suggests to me, sprint through the finish line instead of collapse and be so burnt out. I'm just taking it one day at a time, especially as I get better from this little cold I'm experiencing, and just continue to be grateful for each one of you, for the experiences that I've had, the upbringing that I had, and the path that God has put in front of me. That's another thing that New York taught me or showed me, was to appreciate the little things in front of me, because a lot of people we encountered, now we were in more of the touristy areas, but it is a city known for the hustle and bustle, having to eat. How are you going to eat, survive? And that's not all of New York, but those were some of the things that I did notice. I may reflect more as I let it sink in over this week before I do the next episode, of how I pulled that off. Like, I planned to go to Disney. I didn't know what I wanted to do because this week was just a little weird with having family and not feeling well, but also wanting to enjoy myself at the same time. So I'm just grateful that everything fell in place. And I'm grateful that we made it back safely. If you've noticed and you followed me on social media, I no longer have my Instagram up right now. It's deactivated. With my spring break, I wanted to take an intentional break from social media, give myself a little detox because it felt a little too routine, daunting. I've shared in previous episodes, I've had a little social media addiction where my self-discipline is lacked and just spending time scrolling to kind of distract myself. But I had some discipline this week and was like, we're just going to deactivate it, take a break from it all. But here I am through this format and still on YouTube. I'm going to have my Instagram back up soon to post some of my New York pictures and create a healthy relationship with the social media that I decide to use for the promotion and outreach rather than using it as a measure to live my life by or as an obligation. So I hope you have a beautiful week. Love yourself a little extra today. And thank you as always. I'll see you next time. Talk to you next Monday, Tuesday, one of those days. My definition of consistency with this is getting it out in that week and allowing the imperfections to make it even more unique as it already is. So thank you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye. Bye-bye, New York.
Bye-bye, New York.